Nancy was just saying that Barbara does have my book, our book, the book, and I loved it. This is the book, Wisdom of the Ancients, a manual of. Oh, I love it when I'm not grounded because words mean nothing. And this is one of the things to remember when we're moving up and down. Um, it's vibration that comes through, not necessarily words. Nancy just ran off to get the book, and it's called Wisdom of the Ancients, a Manuscript of Life Essentials. And see, this is it. This is what this book is about. It isn't necessarily the words that are in it. People look at it and think, oh my gosh, it's going to be this easy reader. It's big print. It probably doesn't say, oh, I'll get this in. But it's the vibration. It's the energy in the words. They were drawn in and used for specific reasons. This energy touches you, and that's what the book was about. This came about, I was right after my shift, I was told I would write a series of books, and I laughed, and my manager I worked for laughed also because I was way too blunt. I worked in as an internal investigator, and if I had to send out a corporate message, she had to go in and correct those because I was way too blunt. And she goes, well, you're probably going to do inspirational messages. And I said, sure. And 7 years went by, and I would think about it off and on. I think, well, they said something about writing books. Oh, well, life's happening. And then I was walking to my kitchen sink one day, and all of a sudden I heard in my head, go to your computer. And I went to the computer, my hands went to the keyboard, and the book wrote itself out in 3 months. And it has this beautiful impact on people that's, it's different for each person, the experience. I have had people that it's triggered their awareness. They say, all of a sudden, I just expanded. I've had people tell me they've gone into a meditation while reading it. Others have said that it had emotional breakthroughs for them. And Barbara, put the book by your bedside. Many people do that. And just let it be there. Hold it. Probably one of the largest compliments I received on the book. I was working in Hawaii at the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo there. And one of the Hawaiian elders came through with his entourage. And he picks it up and he just holds it between his hands like this. And he looks at his group and his eyes just got soft. And this light came from them. And he goes, you don't have to read this book. All you have to do is feel it. And that's what it's about, energy, and how it is for you personally. It's, some people will pick it up and put it down and not pick it up again. That's their journey. Other people will tell me I thought I was going to really go through this book, just lickety split, and I couldn't get past a certain sentence or a paragraph. And that's because energetically it's moving through your filters, helping a breakthrough. I loved writing it. I loved feeling the energy that flowed in. I would be woke up in the middle of the night and ideas would be coming and I'd say, can I please sleep? And so I'd go back to sleep. But fresh, early, the same ideas would come back and the words just... And one of the things is I don't get to interfere with the writings. I would look at it, the logical mind be going, no, that sentence should be looking like this to be grammatically correct. I hope that's a word. It feels like a word. Anyway, and it's like, no, don't interfere. Don't interrupt. This is the energy flow we want. And I've had people coming back and say, well, the next time you write a book, how about if I edit it for you? Who am I to edit from a consciousness of love? Well, I'm part of that consciousness, but it's allowing ourselves not to disrupt that loving flow of energy. And, and that could take us into this other part of life, away from talking about the book, into so many times we have this belief it should look like, it should be like, that this is the proper way, and yada, yada, yada. And who are we when life is moving along in this beautiful flow of love? Why, with this training, do we disrupt it? Isn't it time to change that training? Isn't it time to say it's okay to feel loving and beautiful? You know, today seems to be a little talky day, so I want to share something with you. When I was in North Carolina, and, I'm in the human experience just like everybody else. And I was with a friend of mine, and a situation came up that was reflective of my early life, which was very disruptive, chaotic, traumatic, yada, yada. Oh, I'm going to do the yada, yada, yadas today. Anyway, instead, anyway. And I started to tell the story, and this person shut me down like this, disengaged, and turned away and said, "Oh, just a minute, I'm looking at this." And I'm going, "Oh, I'm so important. This is my trauma. This is my stress." And I was a little bent, out of shape for a moment because they were not listening. And then all of a sudden I'm going, oh, I do think Spirit just sent me a lesson. And that lesson is, if you're going to hold on to the story, how are you going to create change? Maybe it's time to let the story be done. That's what was in the past. It isn't who you are today. And I just said, thank you. It was living in the present moment. Was appreciating the beauty of the place I was at. I mean, heck, I was in Asheville, North Carolina. I went up to the Blue Ridge Mountains. I didn't have time for the old story. It wasn't important anymore. The importance is grabbing that beauty, holding it to you, being in that love and embracing it.
So you moved from the story to being in the now, in the present.
Oh my, yes. And this is what I love is people, I do this work, I love this work, I have this knowledge, and there are those who think that I'm always up there in this. Well, heck no. I am in the human experience. And so I have my own lessons. And some of them aren't pleasant. And it reminds me. Some of them are joyous and fabulous, and and it's remembering to be there. But it's also to get the message that's in that moment. Do you know how long I've been clinging to that story? How old am I today? A couple of days. I'm probably 16, 25, 102. Anyway, and it had become, just like all of us, we have this story. It's like, oh, it's mine. Let me hold it. Let me
share it with you. Let me share it with you. Let's talk about it.
Relive it. All the pain, all the trauma. Oh my God. And how is that helping me? What is it doing for me? Well, it's anchoring in the story. It's not allowing change. Well, I choose change. I choose love. I choose light. I choose beauty. And I do believe that's our after show.